The judge actually went so far as to order a search and seizure warrant for those passports. This is probably the most overreaching example of judicial authority I have ever seen. None of those swimmers committed any crime. The judge actually cited in her reasoning why she did that is because she looked at the videotape of the swimmers returning to the Olympic Village after the robbery occurred. And I'm saying there that the robbery did occur. And she said that they were too jocular and happy to have been victims of a crime, that their physicality didn't show it.
Okay, hold on, Stacy. Brazil has been embarrassed.
Yes.
The Olympics took a black eye. There were discrepancies in the story of the swimmers amongst them. I think, isn't it not legitimate for a judge to say, we want to keep these swimmers here because we want the full story. So get them off the plane and bring them back and let's talk to them. Isn't that legit?
No, it's not legit in this case. For an inconsistency to warrant police action of holding a person or seizing a person, it has to be about a material fact, and it has to be an intentional misleading of authorities.
That's intensely legalistic, Stacy.
That's what I do, Stuart.
I know, but there's more than just narrow legalisms involved
No,
here.
this isn't narrow legalisms. These are very minor facts, and there are only 3 of them. And Ryan Lochte had said that he had a gun to his head, and then in another interview he said a gun was pointed at him. Then he said the taxi was pulled over, and then in another interview he said that they were approached. These are minor details when someone is under the trauma of having a gun pointed at them, and there are statistics on this, that the recounting of the event can change by minor inconsistencies.
Let's see exactly what Ryan Lochte had to say. Roll tape.
They pulled us over. They pulled out their guns. They told the other swimmers to get down on the ground. They got down on the ground. The guy pulled out his gun. He cocked it, put it to my forehead, and he said, "Get down." And I was like, I put my hands up. I was like, whatever. He took our money. He took my wallet.
Now, Stacy, that went all around the world. It
did.
gave the Olympics and the Rio authorities a very black eye. Now,
yes, and it may be deserving in this case.
Now, you're approaching this as an American lawyer, and you're looking very closely at every little dot and comma in the equation here.
I'm looking no more closely than the Brazilians did. They're dissecting every single verb, adjective of these swimmers in describing the incident. And there's also a language barrier too. There's a different way of expressing things. There's not one material description that would lead the Brazilians legitimately to think that this robbery did not happen.
Now, the Brazilian authorities got what they wanted, and the police chief at the press conference this afternoon said this: he doesn't see any reason, any necessity for the 3 to stay in Brazil once we've heard their testimony. That is true for all 3 of them. We're going to let them go. They got the story.
Right.
They figured out what was going on. They let them go. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, letting them go, but the actual conduct by Brazilian authorities to send in the Brazilian federal police to seize 2 innocent swimmers who are victims, not perpetrators, victims, off of an airplane and not allow them to leave until they give a statement based on conjecture and minor factual inconsistencies.
The police chief said one swimmer confirmed that one of the other swimmers lied.
I don't really trust any of the statements coming from the Brazilian authorities. Where's the missing videotape?
Okay.
Why is that cut out?
Do you remember when the head of the IMF, a Frenchman, in New York City, Manhattan,
Yes.
accused of sexual assault, made a run for it, went to the airport, JFK, agents pursued him, took him right off the plane in the first-class compartment. Was that wrong?
Not at all. He's a perpetrator. He was considered a perpetrator at the time.
And how do you know that these people weren't perpetrators? They lied.
The Brazilian authorities say they lied because of minor details that were off from 4 accounts. The only account they needed to be consistent was that their property was taken from them by force. That constitutes a robbery. If that occurred and that was their perception of what was going on, and now that we know that a security guard actually put a gun toward them and money was exchanged, I think this case grows even stronger on behalf of Ryan Lochte's claims.
I want you defending me if I'm ever in trouble.
Thank
Stacy
you. I
Schneider,
will.
thanks very much indeed. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.